Hi Creek Kids, good morning. It's me, Mr. Dan, and I've got a Bible story for you today. We are going to talk about how powerful God is, okay? We are going to read from Joshua because we're going to talk about Joshua. And he had a very important task to do, so let's find out. So God asked Joshua to gather some men, and they had this really important box that they had to carry. It was called the Ark of the Covenant. And the really cool thing is they had to go cross this river. Now, if you got to a river and you didn't have a boat or there were no bridges or walkways, how would you guys get across the river? Well, right? Yeah, you might have to swim. Yeah. So God, he's super powerful, right? Okay, so he asked Joshua to grab one of the priests, and he asked the priest to step into the water. So the priest took one step, and guess what? God made the water stop flowing so that they could cross the Jordan River with the Ark of the Covenant and all of the things that they needed to go to Jericho. So as they were walking through, you remember a few weeks ago we talked about how Moses had to stop the water in the Red Sea, right? Well, God did the same thing for Joshua and these guys to get across the Jordan River. So Joshua said, we're gonna dedicate something to God in remembrance of how powerful he is and what he did for us today. So Joshua and everybody went through the river carrying the covenant. Joshua asked the 12 leaders to grab a rock from the Jordan River and take it with them to the other side. And when they did that, they all carried their rocks and they made a big pile of rocks, almost kind of like a big statue. And when the priest walked through, remember when he stepped in, God made the water stop. Once the priest got through and he stepped out of the Jordan River, the water started flowing again. And that pile of rocks was a dedication to show God's mighty power and how he stopped the Jordan River from flowing so that they could walk through with the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was a very cool, special box with lots of prizes, gold. So it was super important that they didn't get it wet. So, wow, Creek Kids, isn't that such a great story? All right, let's review it one more time.
When Moses died, Joshua became the leader of the Israelites. God told Joshua it was time to go into the land of Canaan, the land God promised to give Abraham's family. Other people lived in the land, so the Israelites had to defeat them. Joshua sent 2 spies into Jericho to check it out. They stayed at the house of a woman named Rahab. The king of Jericho heard the spies were with Rahab, so Rahab hid the men on her roof to keep them safe. Rahab had heard what God did to Pharaoh and believed in God. She wanted to help his people. The spies promised to keep Rahab and her family safe when the Israelites came into the city. Rahab tied a bright red rope in her window so the Israelites would know which house she lived in. The spies left Jericho. Now the Israelites traveled toward the Jordan River, which separated them from the Promised Land. They camped next to the wide, deep river. God gave instructions to Joshua and the other leaders. God was going to help the Israelites cross the river. The people got ready to cross. The priest carried the Ark of the Covenant to the edge of the water. Joshua said, "God is with us. He will defeat our enemies." Then the priest stepped into the water and the river stopped. All the people crossed the Jordan on dry ground. Joshua told the people to take 12 stones from the river to set up as a reminder that God stopped the water and helped them cross the river. When the Israelites were all on the other side, the water started to flow again.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it, Creek kids? God was able to just stop the water and make sure that they could get through. It's amazing. All right, Creek kids, you guys have a good day. We'll see you next week. Bye.